Welcome to What's Cooking in Lakeville. I'm Jessica Bradley, and thanks for tuning in to our holiday edition. Today we're going to be making a beautiful stuffed mushroom, quick and easy. That's a family favorite of mine. A gorgeous assemble ahead antipasto platter with some crostini, an easy dessert platter, and some delicious festive cranberry margaritas. Can't wait for you to try these recipes. I hope they make your holiday really easy and fun with your family and friends. So today we're going to be making my traditional Christmas Eve that I've been making for the last, I want to say probably 15 years. And it's a combination of items that we make quick and easy and items that we buy and assemble together so that it's nice and simple on a night that is usually hectic, so you can relax and hang with friends and family and have a great time. So we're going to get started. The first thing I'm going to start with is going to be one element that's going to be part of an antipasto platter that I'm going to put together. And this is going to be one of our buy ingredients and assemble items for today. So the first item, and this is actually pretty much the only cook item on the antipasto platter, is a roasted head of garlic. Now, this is so easy to do. All you have to do is find a nice looking head of garlic, pretty big if you can, with the skins that are wrapped nice and tight on it. We're going to turn it on its side and just take a nice sharp knife and cut the top off. So once you cut off the top, you want to expose the garlic that's on the inside of the head so you can see all the little cloves there. And then we're just going to get a little bit of aluminum foil and we're going to make a little pouch for the garlic. Now, you might have just heard I have the oven preheating to 325 degrees, and we're just going to put the head of garlic in the pouch, kind of fold up the sides around it, and you're going to take some olive oil and just drizzle it right on top, and it's going to bake right in this little pouch. Oh, maybe a little sprinkle of kosher salt too, just to give it a little extra flavor. Okay, and I like to just kind of pop it together like that. Okay, then this little packet goes right in the oven, and it's just going to sit and roast slowly, and the garlic's going to caramelize and get really, really sweet. And when we pull it out and we put it on the antipasto platter, you're going to be able to pull out the cloves of garlic and smear it on some delicious bread with all the different other elements, and it's really, really good. So let's pop it in the oven. Okay, so now we can kind of just forget about that until it's probably going to take about at least 20 minutes, low and slow, but your nose will be able to tell you when it's done. So the whole house will start smelling like garlic. So the second element of the antipasto platter that we're gonna kind of cook, but not, it's just more enhancing the flavor of something that we can buy at the grocery store, is some crostini. I got a beautiful ciabatta loaf at the bakery, just at the local grocery store. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slice that. I'm gonna chop up some nice rosemary, hit it with some really beautiful olive oil and salt, and bake that in the oven until it's nice and crunchy. And that's gonna be the base for all those flavors of our antipasto. So I'll show you how I do that. We'll get to the rosemary in a second. So what I like to do is take the bread and just cut it at a little bit of an angle, because it'll give a little bit more surface area. Okay, just a couple more slices here. And actually, crostini making crostini is a great use for like semi-stale bread, because you're crisping it up anyway, putting it in the oven and crisping it up, and it's kind of like a way to give old bread a new life. I love doing it. That and croutons. All right, so let's get these lined up on the baking sheet. I don't know if I'll be able to fit them all, but we'll see. These are huge, so when they come out of the oven, I might think about cutting them in half, but for now we'll leave them like this. Okay. And then we want to just hit this with a little bit of rosemary. I love the fragrance that it gives, and it's a really earthy flavor, and it just really goes nice with the whole dish. So let's just take the leaves off. We'll gather these in a little pile and just give them a rough chop until they're chopped pretty fine, just by running your knife back and forth through them over and over again. You want to chop these up fairly small because rosemary has a strong flavor, and you don't want a huge piece of it when you take a bite. Okay. This looks pretty good. Okay. So now we're going to hit these with some olive oil and just drizzle some really good extra virgin olive oil on top. Now this is one of those things when you are buying ingredients to assemble versus kind of cooking something on your own, you want to try to buy the best ingredients that you can afford, that you can find, because it really does make a difference in the way that the food tastes and the final product. So. Okay, so we're just going to hit that with a little bit of rosemary, not too much. We don't want to overwhelm the flavor. But a little bit on every piece. Okay, that looks good. And then now a nice sprinkle of kosher salt. And I love the crunchiness and the flavor that it gives. So yummy. And again, we'll pop these in the oven. And these will be done pretty much when our nose tells us they are, but it probably like 10-15 minutes at the most, I would say. Okay, so over we go. On Christmas Eve, we love to have something that's kind of picky and cold, and that's going to be our antipasto platter. And we also love to have something that's kind of picky and hot. And those are two good different elements for the table. We're usually just hanging out, chatting. It's very casual at our house. So we've got the elements going for the cold appetizer. Now we're gonna start the elements for the warmer one that I like to serve. And we're gonna go over here and get that started. So the next thing that we're gonna make is stuffed mushrooms. And this is my absolute favorite Christmas Eve kind of hot picky hors d'oeuvre to make. And I love it because it's very nostalgic for me, the smells of this cooking. And when I was a kid, on Christmas morning, my mom would always start the cooking because we always had family over every Christmas. And this would be one of the first things that she would make. And the smell of it just reminds me so much of being a kid. And she would make it every Christmas day because my grandfather loved it. And I don't know, the smell of these and remembering my mom making them for her dad, and they just remind me of my grandfather so much. So it's like this smell is Christmas to me. So I'm really excited to share this recipe with you. So what I've done here is I have a couple containers of just plain white button mushrooms, and I've taken most of the stems out of them. I just saved a few to show you guys how I do it. So what we're gonna do is take the stems out of these white button mushrooms just by kind of pushing it over and popping them out. Like that. And like that. And you know what, another good thing I want to show you, a little trick, I'm going to borrow this paper towel right here, is how to clean a mushroom. So what you don't want to do is submerge a mushroom in water because it absorbs like a sponge and it'll become very rubbery almost. So what you want to do is just take a little bit of a damp paper towel and just wipe any little crumbs of dirt that might be on it, just like that. And I've already done that to these. What I have here, so I've done that to all these mushrooms already. And what I have here are the stems of these mushrooms that I've already finely chopped. So I'm just gonna put those aside and I'm gonna add these to that as well. And this is going to become part of the stuffing along with a few other key ingredients. Then I'm also going to chop up, the recipe calls for about 1/4 cup of an onion. It's about probably, I would say, about 1/2 of a small yellow onion. And get ready, these always make me have waterworks, so I might be wiping my eyes here in a few minutes. Okay. Okay. If anyone knows a trick to no crying onion cutting, can you let me know? Because I need it. Okay. So we just peel off the skin. You don't need a lot of onion in this. It's just a nice little flavor. There we go. We're going to finely chop these because, again, this is all going to become part of the stuffing, and you don't want big chunks because we have to pile it into those mushroom caps. Okay, so we have our finely chopped onion. I don't know if I can fit that in here, but I'll try. Okay, so we're just going to peel the garlic like I've shown you to do before. You just lay it flat on your board and take the flat side of your knife and give it a good whack. Okay. And then we're going to, again, finely chop that and add it to the mix. And then we're going to bring it over to the stove and saute it all together with a little bit of olive oil and salt and pepper. So let's get this going over here. It's probably about 2 tablespoons of olive oil, I would say, that we're going to get going. Get my stove cranking up. Okay. And then we're just going to dump this in and leave it alone to do its thing. While we get the rest of the ingredients for the stuffing together. All right, so we're gonna finish making the rest of the ingredients for the stuffing while the stems and the onions and the garlic kind of come together and soften. And once that gets going, we're only gonna cook those for probably about like 3 or 4 minutes, just until everything has a chance to soften and the flavors to release, especially from the onion and the garlic. So what I have here is 1/3 cup of breadcrumbs. Now I have panko breadcrumbs in here, and you can use whatever breadcrumbs you like the best. I like the panko ones because I feel like they get a little bit crispier when you cook them, but these are plain panko breadcrumbs, and you can use the Italian seasoning ones, whatever ones you want. About 1/8 teaspoon, I used Italian seasoning. You could use plain oregano, you could use dried parsley, whatever you think. Whatever you have on hand. They're pretty much all the same. And then 1/2 teaspoon of salt in here as well. So to this, I'm going to add about 3 tablespoons of my favorite ingredient in the whole wide world, makes everything taste better, Parmesan cheese. And I'm just gonna estimate and grate that right into the bowl. And actually the name of this recipe is mushrooms Parmesan, so that's why we have so much Parmesan in it. That looks just about right. Okay. And then we're going to chop up a handful of fresh flat leaf parsley as well. And that just, you know, these are really rich flavors in this dish, so this just kind of serves to lighten it up, gives it a little bit of a nice green fleck to it, and adds a little bit of a freshness to the dish. So we're just gonna run our knife back and forth until this is finely chopped, and then add it into that. Okay, so the parsley's done. We're gonna add that in. And I'm just gonna grab a little spoon to give that a stir. Okay, and I can hear the stems and the onions and the garlic going now. So we're gonna just head over there and give it a little stir and hit it with some salt too. Ooh, these look awesome. And that smell, the mushroom and the onion and the garlic, that's that smell. Like for me, that is Christmas right there. Okay, just a little bit of salt. Just to help release some of those juices from the onions. Here we go, let's go add this up and I'll show you how to stuff them. So we have the cooked mushroom stems, onion and garlic that have been sauteed in olive oil, and we hit them with a little bit of salt, and we're gonna add that to the dry ingredients that we've put together for the mushrooms. So this just goes right in. Another thing I love about this recipe is that you can like scale it up or scale it down depending on how many people you're having. But I always suggest making more than you think you're gonna need because people love these. You just mix this together and we'll see how well it holds together. And sometimes if it's a little dry, like maybe you added a little bit too many breadcrumbs, or you had a little bit less olive oil in your pan, if it's a little dry, then you can just drizzle in a little extra olive oil while it's in this stage, just to make sure it's being held together enough. But nope, this looks perfect to me. So now all we're gonna do is just with a teaspoon and your fingers, clean hands, is to stuff every single one of these with some of this beautiful stuffing. And just kind of pile it in there. And if it falls on the bottom of the casserole dish, that's okay. Let's see. And I like lots and lots of stuffing in my mushrooms. So I always go through and make sure everyone gets a bunch, and then whatever's left over, I just go and I just pile on top, because it does cook down a little bit as well. Now the last thing we're gonna do is we're just gonna drizzle some olive oil inside the casserole dish. And that's just to help like brown the mushrooms underneath and to give them something to kind of cook in. So it's about 2 tablespoons total. All right, that looks pretty good to me. And then over to the oven. Now we're gonna bake these at 400 degrees. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna check our crostini that are in there right now. See how that has the golden brown on the bottom? This is what you're looking for, and it's crispy to the touch when you touch it. So I think that we can take these out. They could stay in for another 5 minutes if you had the time, but this is perfect as well. So let's grab the mushrooms and throw them in with the garlic for now, and when we take them out, we'll crank the oven back down and the garlic can continue to cook. Now I'm going to show you how to put together like my favorite antipasto platter. This is one of those traditions that we started when we started having Christmas Eve at our house, and it was a nice way to be able to have lots of good flavors on one plate without having to do a ton of work. And I also love it because I'm Italian, I'm half Italian, so my grandfather on my mom's side is 100% Italian, and both my grandparents on my dad's side were half and half, like 50% Italian, so I'm half Italian, and I love that heritage, and it's always been a huge part of the holidays for us, so this is kind of a way for me to be able to continue that. So what I love to do is I love to hit up the Italian specialty food shop, Tutto Italiano, over on Route 44 right in Lakeville, like a day before Christmas Eve. And I love to see kind of what they have in their prepared case. And I pick and choose what looks really yummy to me then. And I get some, you know, nice, really good salamis and mortadella and capicola, whatever looks really good that day. So what I want to do today, I have all these different things here. I kind of just want to show you how I assemble them. And it's really, really fun. So I think the first thing that we need to do is in the middle, I always start with like a ball of mozzarella or the little bocconcinis, which are the little balls of mozzarella. But I was super lucky when I went to Tutto Italiano the other day, and they had like our favorite mozzarella ever, which is burrata. That's like creamy in the middle. It's the best. I mean, my kids will eat an entire ball of burrata. Just the two of them. So, and this is gorgeous. So it comes like this in a little ball. It's like a little purse. And obviously you don't eat the tie, but when you break it open, all this beautiful creamy cheese comes out. You spread it on your bread. Oh, it's to die for. I like to just place these right in the center of my platter. I got some nice Italian cold cuts. And when I go there, I always just say, what looks really good to you today? What looks good to me today? Help me pick out something, because the people are so nice. I just have some salami right here. I like to just kind of fold it in half and make a pile of it all together. So I think I have some hot capicola in here. I think that's what we decided on. Yes. On the other side, on the other corner. Okay, and again, I'm just going to kind of fold it and place it. And it doesn't have to be perfect. All right, so these are kind of like my little anchors for my platter. The next thing I'm gonna do, I think, is some nice roasted eggplant. And I picked this up at Tutto Italiano, and they've grilled it and marinated it with some herbs and some vinegar and some olive oil, and it's so good. So I'm just gonna, let me grab a fork. I'm kind of usually a use my fingers, clean hands type of girl, but one more that's kind of big as well. So I'm gonna give that a quick rough chop. Okay. Okay. This to the side. Now on the other side, I think I'm going to do a nice pile of these Kalamata olives, because I think it'll look good across from the eggplant. It's another dark color. Pile these up. And these are the ones with the pits in them. I like that, but you can get the pitted if you like that better. If you think your family and your guests would like that more. Okay. By the way, if you don't like olives, don't put olives. Or if you don't like eggplant, don't put eggplant. Just choose the things that you love and pile them high on the platter. Okay, the next thing I think I'm gonna do is some green, and I'm gonna do that across from each other here, right here. And I have those yummy, yummy, yummy pepperoncinis, and I don't know if you know what pepperoncinis are or not, but they're really vinegary, somewhat spicy peppers, and they're so good. We love them. And all these things in the jars, I just picked up at the grocery store, right in the Italian specialty food section. And if any of the juices that are in the jars are from the different eggplants or the different peppers or anything, that's all kind of nice. Like it all combines on the bottom and makes like its own little sauce on the bottom of the antipasto, and it's really good. Okay, and across from that, I think I'm gonna do some marinated artichokes. Okay, and these you don't want to drain the juice that they come in. Oh, that's on there really tight. Let's see. You know what? This gives me an opportunity, because I can't open this. I'm going to show you my trick. Okay, so if you ever have a jar that you can't open, you take a spoon, like a teaspoon, you put it underneath the side of the lid and just push up until the seal pops, and then you can open the jar. I love that trick. Okay, so this is really full, but you don't want to really drain the juice too much, because the juice is a lot of the flavor on these. So you do want some of that to get onto your platter. Okay, pile those. So I started doing this antipasto because I'm Italian, like I said, but it also, my dad loves this kind of food, and it just, I don't know, it always made me feel good to do that kind of special for him every Christmas Eve. And there's one part in particular that I'm going to show you guys that I'm not even going to open today, because it won't get eaten until my dad comes over on Christmas Eve. So I'm going to save it for him, but it's his special treat that I get him every year. That's kind of part of a traditional Italian antipasto, but he's the only one who likes it in our family. And it's the Italian in olive oil tuna. It comes in this little can, and it's like really rich and really strong. And you know what? It kind of makes me sick to open it, but he loves it like so much. So this is like the thing, like I get it once a year just for my dad, and I put it in a little bowl just for him, and it's all to himself. It's like his special treat. So this is a traditional thing on an Italian antipasto I wanted to show you, but I'm not going to open it today. I'm going to save this for our Christmas Eve. So. Okay, so a couple more little pieces. We get the green olives, and I'm going to drain the juice. I'm actually starting to smell that garlic right now, and it smells really good. I'm going to check in a second. And then I have some roasted red peppers, Oh, I might need to do my spoon trick again. There we go. And I'm definitely gonna have to cut. Oh, that one's nice and small actually, but most of them I'm probably gonna have to cut. Yep, they're pretty big. You wanna, that's kind of one of the things, you wanna put everything in pretty much bite size so that folks can pile it high on their crostini. Okay, there's that. Now we're gonna give these a nice little chop and we're gonna pile them up. Okay, so we're just gonna roughly chop these so they're not massive. Okay, oh, they're so pretty too. They're such a vibrant color. We're just gonna pile those. Love it. I have some gorgeous sharp provolone, which is such a nice contrast to the rich and creamy burrata. Like the burrata is like so, it's like such a soft, smooth, round flavor, and this is so sharp and just like it's such a nice bite. So I love doing like the two different types of cheeses on the platter. And I'm gonna probably just kind of put these over here, kind of tucked underneath the artichokes because I have a little bit of upward space right there. I'm gonna grab that garlic. I hope it's done. Let's give this garlic a look and see if we need more time on it. It smells really good. All right, so what I'm gonna do is this, I'm gonna show you, this garlic is almost done. It's not 100% done yet. Like ideally what you want it to be is like a rich golden brown color, so it'll be really smooth and mushy when you pull it out. Actually, it is pretty soft already, but okay. Oh, it smells awesome. Put that right there. And do not waste this gorgeous olive oil that's flavored with that garlic in there. Just drizzle it over. Okay. Okay. Now, the final touches to the antipasto. So I've been putting this together for like maybe 6 minutes. So easy. And look how gorgeous this looks. Okay, so this is, I've showed you this before, my favorite balsamic vinegar in the world. It's so good. I get it at Tutto Italiano. I love to drizzle this over specifically like on the roasted red peppers and on anything else that might, you know, benefit from a little bit of balsamics. Then I also like to hit it up with a little bit of good extra virgin olive oil. Just makes everything really luscious and yummy. And a beautiful bunch of basil, kind of just like right in the middle. Just to, let's cut off some of that stem. Just kind of tucked right in the middle, just to give it color. This is kind of how the finished antipasto looks. And then how I serve it, I love to serve my crostini just on like a little breadboard. So I just really casually pile them up here, however it works. I probably serve it something like that. And so I think the mushrooms are done now. So I'm just gonna run over to the stove and pull those out so you can see what the final product would be for those. So this is exactly how you want them to look. They're browned on the top. You can tell that the mushrooms are nice and soft. So you could serve them right out of this baking dish because this is a really pretty one. But if you wanted to serve them on a platter, I would suggest probably just like kind of a plain white platter. So 2 more things I want to show you today, and they're super quick. I always like to serve something sweet on Christmas Eve as well. And I usually have, and I'm sure you probably have the same, tons of Christmas cookies that we've made either like throughout the season leading up to Christmas, or that have been brought to my house, or that we had left over from like a little get together somewhere else. So what I like to do is use those and dress them up on a pretty platter. So I'm going to show you how I do that. So I have some really yummy triple chocolate biscotti that I made the other day. And it's just a chocolate biscotti with white chocolate and chocolate chips, regular chocolate, semi-sweet chocolate chips. And I'm just gonna place these on the platter again, and I'm gonna do like blocks of them, like I did with the antipasto. But if I did have some nice bright red strawberries, I might, put a couple of those right here. So the final topping on this, I'm just gonna hit it with some powdered sugar. So pretty, looks like snow. So our neighborhood, every year we have a tradition of going caroling, and one of the neighborhoods that's a couple streets over, and we all gather together and we go around and we carol. And then last year we gathered at our friend's house for a party afterwards. And was his signature cocktail that he served, and we loved it so much that we decided to bring it into our tradition. So it's a cranberry margarita. Now I know margaritas don't sound kind of like your traditional holiday drink, but this one is really, really good. So the first step we're gonna do is we're gonna get our little highball glasses, and we're gonna take a lime and cut the lime, and then we're gonna use the lime around the rim of the glass. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take these glasses and we're gonna edge the rim of the glass with sugar in the raw. Now I love using the sugar in the raw because it's crunchy, one, and two, it has this really pretty golden color to it, which I feel like is just so festive for the holidays. It's the only thing left we need in our glasses is a bunch of ice, and I fill them right up to the top with ice because I like a really cold drink. The next thing we're gonna need is a cocktail shaker, and to this we are going to add silver tequila, and I love using silver tequila because it just kind of has a lighter flavor to it. I love gold tequila too, but not for this particular drink. So your favorite silver tequila, we're gonna do one big shot of it. We're gonna add one shot of cranberry. So it's equal parts cranberry and silver tequila, and then a half a part of triple sec, which is just an orange flavored liqueur, or you could use Cointreau or Grand Marnier as well, but I like triple sec, it's kind of light. We're gonna take the juice of half of this lime and we're gonna squeeze it right into here. So this is a nice tart drink. Okay, just put the cover on and give it a shake. I like to shake it for a solid 30 seconds or so. Okay, that's probably pretty good. Let's see if I can get the cap off. Sometimes mine gets stuck on there. Okay, there we go. Then we're just gonna fill up our glasses. So pretty. The color is so festive. This is one thing that I love about this drink. Okay. Then to garnish it, we take a wedge of lime for each. And I like mine super tart, so I always squeeze my extra wedge of lime right in there. And then some fresh frozen cranberries, just to float on the top. And there we go, cranberry margarita with our sugar in the raw rim. So now you have an idea of the Bradley family Christmas Eve. It's a good mix of buy at the store and assemble items and homemade, nostalgic family recipes, a really yummy cocktail, some good tips on how to make your Christmas Eve fun, hopefully, and easy, hopefully, and special for your family as well. So I hope you enjoyed our show today, and I wish you all really Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a happy, healthy New Year.